The Korean Presbyterian Church of Bayside Small Group Bible Study by Reverend David Lee. Lesson number 183. Those who trust in the Lord. Psalms 125 verses 1 to 5. A Song of Ascents. Those who trust in the Lord are like Mount Zion, which cannot be moved, but abides forever. As the mountains surround Jerusalem, so the Lord surrounds his people, from this time forth and forevermore. For the scepter of wickedness shall not rest on the land allotted to the righteous, lest the righteous stretch out their hands to do wrong. Do good, O Lord, to those who are good, and to those who are upright in their hearts. But those who turn aside to their crooked ways the Lord will lead away with evildoers. Peace be upon Israel. Amen. How does the psalmist of today's passage describe those who trust in the Lord? What does this teach us? Biblical scholars place today's passage during Israel's return from Babylonian captivity, a period marked by attacks from various surrounding nations. Specifically, it is believed to reflect the hardships arising from conflict with the Samaritans, who already inhabited the land. Given that Israel had lost its sovereignty and endured a long Babylonian captivity, their challenges upon returning must have been immense. After 70 years, their former homes and fields would have been in ruins. They faced the daunting task of rebuilding houses and cultivating land under unfavorable conditions. They likely lacked essential materials for construction, farming tools, oxen, and sufficient seed. Furthermore, with Jerusalem's walls broken down, bandits could easily infiltrate and steal from them. In addition, the Samaritans, who had settled in North Israel after its conquest by Assyria, would have been engaged in their own struggle for survival. Thus, despite their return from captivity, it was not a time of joy for Israel. They faced overwhelming work and the constant need to defend their territory from enemies. Understanding this context allows us to fully grasp the meaning of today's psalm. The psalmist sought to instill hope in the people of Israel, who were extremely vulnerable to their adversaries. Hence, in verse 1 he declares, "Those who trust in the Lord are like Mount Zion, which cannot be moved but abides forever." For the Israelites, mountains symbolized steadfastness, safety, and immutability, as they stood against their enemies. However, the psalmist specifically references Mount Zion, signifying Jerusalem. Situated on a high elevation of about 800 meters above sea level, Jerusalem was known as a mountain. Moreover, the temple was there. Therefore, the declaration that Mount Zion cannot be shaken implies God's protective hand over it. This truth holds for us as well. If we trust in God, our lives will be as secure as an unshakable mountain. Naturally, a mountain endures many winds, battles may be fought on it, and it can even be conquered by other nations. Yet, just as the mountain itself remains unassailable, a person who trusts in God will stand firm against all adversities. David, the author of many psalms, serves as a prime example. He was incredibly weak compared to King Saul. The king's formidable determination to mobilize his army to kill David was undeniable. Yet, King Saul could not harm David because of David's trust in God. So he confessed in Psalm 3 verses 1 to 8, "O Lord, how many are my foes? Many are rising against me. Many are saying of my soul, there is no salvation for him in God. Selah, but you, O Lord, are a shield about me, my glory, and the lifter of my head. I cried aloud to the Lord, and he answered me from his holy hill. Selah, I lay down and slept. I woke again, for the Lord sustained me, that I will not be afraid of many thousands of people who have set themselves against me all around. Arise, O Lord. Save me, O my God. For you strike all my enemies on the cheek. You break the teeth of the wicked. Salvation belongs to the Lord. Your blessing be on your people." We must remember a vital lesson from David's life. No adversity or difficulty can defeat us if we trust in God. Therefore, we should not focus on our circumstances, but keep our eyes on the Lord. Our triumphs and failures, successes and setbacks, all lie in His hands. During the initial years of our church, a colleague from seminary told me something he had heard from another pastor, which gave me hope. He said that the church will stand firm as long as the senior pastor remains unshaken. I was greatly encouraged when I heard this. I realized that if the pastor, who is the shepherd of the church, looks to God and perseveres instead of focusing on the circumstances, the church will remain steadfast. This realization empowered me to continue to serve the Lord. As a result, with God's help, all the big and small storms passed, and the church grew immensely. I believe the same applies to our families. No matter what storms may come our way, as long as we the parents remain steadfast, all will be well. When we fix our eyes on the Lord, all the formidable and perilous storms will pass, and we will be like an immovable mountain in the midst of a rainstorm, or even war. Verse 2 states, "As the mountains surround Jerusalem, so the Lord surrounds his people, from this time forth and forevermore." This imagery refers to Jerusalem's geographical location. Situated on a high elevation, Jerusalem is encircled by mountains, including the Mount of Olives. Witnessing this, the psalmist envisioned how God protects those who trust in him in the same way. God truly cares for all those who trust in him like this. Therefore, as believers, let us remember this and trust in the Lord. Verse 3 of today's passage states, "For the scepter of wickedness shall not rest on the land allotted to the righteous, lest the righteous stretch out their hands to do wrong." Here, the scepter of wickedness refers to the authority of a king. However, it signifies that this kind of evil authority cannot be exercised in the land of the righteous. The reason for this is to prevent the righteous from falling into sin. There are sayings like, "A ship does not sink unless water gets in," and "Life does not collapse unless sin gets in." Therefore, God disciplines his believers to prevent them from falling into temptation. This is because if we live in sin, our lives will be ruined. On Mother's Day or Father's Day, children frequently write to their parents, "Thank you for correcting me when I went the wrong way." Although it might sound generic, their confession rings true. We might feel upset when we are corrected, but when we look back, we find ourselves being grateful for the discipline. At this time, as we reflect on our past, let's thank God for disciplining us. Through his discipline, he prevented us from going down the path of sin. Let's take this time to pray as we remember that those who trust in the Lord will not be shaken, but stand firm like Mount Zion. Were you able to remain unshaken in the face of adversities by trusting in the Lord? Let us share our accounts with one another. Let's discuss what you have learned and determined to do through today's word.